Hello, Year 1, and welcome to your Friday, the 29th of January 2021 reading skills session. Well done for making it to another Friday. I know Mrs. Brent and I keep saying this, but we are so proud of each and every one of you. I know this is a really difficult, very strange situation, but please make sure you are looking after yourselves at home. Okay, you're doing a fantastic job, and I know these times are very tricky. So today we're going to be looking at some vocabulary and we're going to be looking at our sequencing skill. So what I'd like to do is summarise and sequence what you remember so far. So think right back to the start of our story where we had Max making mischief at home. What happened next? What did his mum do? That's it. So she sent him to his bedroom without any supper. Do you think that's cruel? Or do you think that's okay? It's a little bit mean, isn't it? But I suppose he was very rude and he did say to his mum that he was going to eat her up. Yeah, which I hope none of you would ever say. Please don't ever say that. Okay, so we then had something started growing in his room, didn't it? What was that? Remind me. That's it, a forest started growing. And then, where was he? He was on a boat. You're absolutely right. And he was sailing across an ocean. Where did he end up? That's it. He ended up where the wild things are. And that's where these pictures kind of start. You guys carry on, pause the video here, just summarize and sequence what you remember so far. So remember, our lovely sequencing means putting it in order. Okay, so these pictures are in order, but what happened? Okay, can you remember what happened after these pictures as well? And I'll give you a clue, it's the wild rumpus. Okay, and what did they get up to? Have a little pause of the video here and have a little chat with the person at home. Okay, so hopefully you've reminded each other about the wild rumpus and what happened and how they were swinging from trees and dancing in the moonlight. But unfortunately, right at the end of what we read yesterday, Max got a little bit sad, didn't he? He got a little bit homesick, I think. He said he could smell all of the amazing foods, and I think he was missing home cooking. Okay, sometimes I do that when I go away on holiday. I miss my mum's roast dinner because my mum's roast dinner is incredible. Never had a roast like it. What would you guys miss if you went away? What was the one dinner that you would miss if you guys went away? It's making me hungry just thinking about it. So we'll do a little bit of echo reading now. Okay, we'll find out what happened in our story. And then what I want you to do is once we've done that, I want you to reread the text and I want you to practice in different voices. Because when adults or when teachers read books to you, we put on different voices, don't we, for different characters. It's a really good, useful skill to help you with your lovely reading as you get better. Because your reading is beautiful, Year 1, but to make it even better, you can put on different voices. It's a good skill to have, and it shows the teacher that you understand when different people are talking. Okay, so we'll do a bit of echo reading first. So my turn. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go." Your turn. My turn. "We'll eat you up. We love you so." Your turn. My turn. And Max said no. Your turn. Excellent. Well done, team. So you can see we've got some lovely speech marks there, haven't we? So we know the spoken words, the parts that are being spoken. We've got our wild thing saying, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." Okay, so think about what voice you might do for your wild things. "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." What voice are you going to do? And then Max said no. And we know he's kind of shouting it, don't we? Because what piece of punctuation shows us that? Excellent. It's got an exclamation mark there, hasn't it? Our Kung Fu punctuation. She ha. It's got an exclamation mark there. Okay. So let's read our final section. "The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye." So we've got a bit of repetition there, haven't we, throughout the story? We've seen that the wild things roar their terrible roars, gnash their terrible teeth, and roll their terrible eyes and show their terrible claws. They've done that before. I think the first time they did it, they were trying to scare Max, weren't they? To show that they were in charge. But Max tamed them and he became king. Now I think they're doing it as a friendly goodbye. Okay, and they're waving goodbye, and Max is waving goodbye as well. Okay, fantastic. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to, okay, and the vocabulary we're going to look at is, we've looked at terrible, and we've looked at terrible quite a lot, haven't we? Changing it and up leveling it and making it better. We're going to look at said today. Okay, we've got, and Max said no. I think the word said, it's quite boring, isn't it? We need to know how to write it, and we do use it, but said can get a bit repetitive, a little bit boring. So what alternatives could you use for the word said? And this is very useful because we can use this when we're doing our lovely Goldilocks and the 3 whatever you've chosen stories in the morning. So think of some alternatives to the word said. What could you use instead of and Max said no? Good. Okay. Keep the suggestions coming. I like it. I'm going to mix up all your suggestions in my mixing pot. And let's see. I'm going to pick some out. I've got exclaimed. Wow. That's a fantastic one. And Max exclaimed no. Another one. Cried no. Shouted no. Screamed no. Wailed no. Those are all fantastic ideas. And if you came up with any more, bravo. Well done. Okay, team. That is the end. We'll carry on looking at that story. Okay, another week. And I hope you have a fantastic, restful weekend. Bye, year 1.